Hi YouTube, this is Jarl DM. I'm going to be running part 2 of the Horns of Cerunnos this week. So, my players, if you'd like to introduce yourself, we'll just start with that straight away. Let's start with Whitey.
Hello everyone, Ian Whitey White here. I'll be playing Tostig Sigmarsson. He's a human fighter, Huskarl, and I should have got his. Oh yeah, I've got his. He's locked it up now. His overlay. If you can see, there's a little bit of a thundercloud going on above his head. That's just to give you a little clues on his temperament and his mentality at this moment in time. And we'll learn more about him during play. Cheers.
Excellent. So Ian, you're next.
I'm Ian Christensen from Fantastic Dimensions. I am playing Osvalder Halfdunsson. It's not Ass Welder. Okay? Everybody's going to be teasing me all game, so I might as well get it out there first. But no, it's Osvalder Halfdunsson. He is a Skald of the North. Very, very much a Viking. Very proud of that fact. A little bit, kind of feeling a little bit down, a little bit stormy himself recently because he's not too happy about the horrible defeat that we suffered in the intro episode. But so he's got a chip on his shoulder and a lot to prove.
Perfect. Chris.
All right, and I'm Chris. I've got the channel Drop Dice. I'll be playing Sirk Bastardborn, or Sirg, as the pronunciation goes. Yeah, same thing. You know, it sucks to lose, but I guess we have new employment now, so we'll have to deal with that.
Perfect. And Dan.
My name's Dan, and much like the others, I'll be playing Aragast the Wall, and he's not real pleased at the fact that we're under new management, but he's a Halbjoten fighter, a very big guy and of Viking heritage, and he's ready to jump in and find out what we're up to.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll kick it off pretty much a day or so after the defeat. So you guys have been staying in Gunnar's home. You've been given modest accommodations, which really is like a straw bed in a dorm. The half-giants have to sleep in the stables because there's nowhere big enough for them to sleep, which is not only insulting but also uncomfortable. You've been getting a lot of hassle in town. People clearly unhappy with you, spitting at you, that kind of thing. Well, kind of spitting as you pass, not on you. They're not that stupid. And yeah, generally it's been pretty grim. Like a lot of the other soldiers who are with Jarl Bloodeye also surrendered, seeing the insurmountable odds. The rest that tried to run have been either killed or captured as thralls, and you can see some of your old comrades working pretty unenviable jobs around the city. So a couple of days after the battle, you're summoned to speak with the Jarl. The summons involves a particularly large and ugly man, Stribjorn, who is one of the Huskarls. He's pretty large, definitely not as large as the half-giants, but he's pretty large, and he's got this hideous scar running from just under his right ear all the way across his face and up to the left side of his forehead. And he basically comes into your dorm, pretty much kicking the door in, and he says, "The Jarl wants you, now," and then leaves. Similarly, this is in the middle of the night. Similarly, the stable door is kicked in, and he murmurs something about half-breeds being wanted by the Jarl.
So Osvalder it's middle of the night. Like, we're still awake, aren't we, or were we sleeping?
You were sleeping.
Oh, we were sleeping?
Yeah, it's like right in the middle of the night.
All right. I'll drag my grumpy ass out of bed, grab the half horn of mead, and drink the rest of it on the way to see the Jarl. I've probably been drunk since the battle, since I woke up. Half drunk, anyway.
Tostig will rise out of the bed, pick up his sword belt and start buckling that on as he follows on after Osvalder.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get up. It's the Jarl, so I'm not going to bother with weapons.
Sure.
And Aragast will rise as well and follow Surg. Just thinking, considering what we've been through, this is a little concern. Just going with it.
Cool. So you guys make your way to the keep. It's like a stone building, which is pretty impressive in itself. It's quite large. It's got turrets and towers, and you enter into this enormous door into this cavernous hall that echoes as you walk across the flagstones. There's a big fire in the middle. It's the middle of the night. Most of the city is asleep, but the Jarl is clearly wide awake. And you can see the somewhat sour and grumpy faces of those who are with him. The Huskarls and stuff like that who are there hanging out with him. They definitely want to be asleep, but he's not having any of it. So he's kind of standing over this table with maps strewn all over it, and he kind of beckons you forward. And he basically tells you, well, if it isn't my new employees, fantastic. How are your accommodations?
Fine, my lord.
I can't complain.
No, you cannot. And he laughs as if that's hilarious.
Stern silence.
So he tells you that, well, he basically says, I've got a mission for you, a quest, if you will, a way to prove your worth. There is a fortress, quite a large fortress, in the north. I've always wanted it to be part of my realm, and you seem like the sort of plucky, nothing-to-lose types who are going to go get it for me.
I'm sorry, Lord Gunn, but last time we met, I believe Aragast here and we almost took your life. Did that not prove our worth?
Very good. It would take me too long to explain how wrong you are. I think you can prove your worth to me in a more real way by taking this castle from me. It's quite important to me. It used to be a Jotun castle.
I spit.
I'll raise an eyebrow.
I can understand your reservations, but it is a bastion of defense. The idea is that you go there and you clear it out of whatever's in there, because I'm sure it's not empty. You plant my banner in there somewhere and I'll let you run it.
How many days' ride is it?
It'll probably take you about a month to get there. You'll have to travel by boat and then a little bit further.
I look at Aragast and say, ride?
He says, I don't know what's up there, but Hadvar and his boys didn't come back. That obviously won't happen to you, I assume.
How many
Advar
men
and
did
his
he
boys
have with
didn't
him?
almost kick your ass, did they?
They wouldn't be stupid enough to try such a thing.
Or brave enough. And I'll spit again.
How many men were in his company?
I sent 30 men in total.
We get to keep any loot that we find.
Of course, it'll be your castle, but you'll owe fealty to me.
And how many men are you sending with us, Lord?
I suppose I could send some. I was hoping you'd do it on your own.
On one condition.
Very good.
You keep the dwarf.
Why would I want to keep this misbegotten thing?
That's a good question. Do with him as you will. And I'll spit again.
The dwarf has not recovered from the battle. Seemingly the stress was too much. He's been sweating and having visions for days.
It would be a shame if he were to die of a fever.
I suppose so. So the road to this fortress is not an easy one. You'll need to sail across the Yormund Straits, and then follow the Wolf Road until you can see the mountains. I can provide you with horses, but I've got nothing big enough to carry these half-breeds. What you'll need to do is head to Olanska and talk with my Huskarl Ulan. He's a hardy sailor, and he'll probably get you to the mainland in one piece. So just so you guys know, Gunnar's Home and the surrounding territories are on one of the bigger islands in Isclough. So this fortress is actually on the mainland. And he says, before you go though, I do have something I'd like you to do for me. I need to get supplies and all that crap ready for you, so it'll take about a day. While I'm doing that, there's something you could take care of for me. There's been a death in a nearby town, and I can spare no man to go check it out. I need you to go and adjudicate and see who caused this death.
So you're saying it is unnatural causes?
Yes, he was murdered.
Is that really such an uncommon thing, though? I mean, people squabble and kill each other all the time.
Yes, but this is the son of a Huskarl, the man who runs the village. And his death cannot go unpunished. Well, it cannot go uninvestigated. Find me evidence. I expect justice, not vengeance.
Viking code dictates that justice should be carried out upon a murder of another Viking.
Quite so.
Fine, we'll run more errands for you. I have another request then.
What is that?
What has happened to Dagmar?
Dagmar, Jarl Dagmar. He yet lives.
That's a shame.
I have not decided what I will do with him. He has been badly wounded, and he's feverish, near death. I suppose I could heal him back to life if such was my desire. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do with him yet. Why do you ask?
This would be a shame if anything were to happen to the cowardly bastard. If he should recover, someone should put an end to him. In the traditional way.
I suppose he was courageous in some ways, attempting to take on Gunnar's Home. Perhaps he deserves a true death, a proper death. But I'm not sure. I'll have to think about it.
He was courageous until he stood within your walls.
That is the case with most men. They're courageous until they get within 100 feet of me.
Most. And I'll finger my the hilt of the sword on my back. I'm not in a threatening way, but just to make a gesture as a
Is courage the only noble virtue you acknowledge?
No, there are many.
I'm speaking to Asvalder.
I have little respect for anyone who is not a proven warrior.
There are 9, and you should learn them.
Your friend here knows the law. Good to know. It's always good to have people who are dependable in my service. You seem like good people, like capable people. And if you serve me properly, there's much that you can gain from this arrangement. You served Jarl Dagmar, and I can see why. He was a charismatic, he was brave, he had many victories. But such is the case, and has been the case for many, many years, most of my life. Young, foolish, brash idiots come and try and dethrone me, and they fail. Is there anything you will need on your journey that you require me to provision for you?
Food and mead. I have everything else. I can't speak for my companions, though.
Well, food and meat sounds good to me.
That can easily be arranged. Well then.
And a flag.
And a flag, but of course, I'll provide you with a glorious banner to hang from the battlements of the fortress when you get there. The name of this fortress has been forgotten. It's built by the Jotun a long, long time ago. And so, when you get there, I'm going to let you name it. However, I want you to think long and hard about what you're going to name this fortress, as it'll stand for eternity. So think carefully. You've got a journey ahead of you. Get going.
Nod.
Very well.
And leave.
And I'll turn and leave.
Perfect. Alright, so do you want to go straight to this village, or do you want to like get the rest of your sleep and go in the morning?
Well, we're up, aren't we?
Is this the day after our previous invasion? Or have
No,
we
it's a
had
couple-
time
it's
to
a
rest?
A
in
couple of
between?
days, yeah.
It's a couple days later.
Alright, then I'm fine leaving anytime.
Alright, so you guys go grab your things, I guess,
Okay.
and get going.
I start. I take one of my hand axes as we're marching out. How are we getting there? We're taking a boat, yeah.
By
No,
the way,
you're
was
gonna-
I
you're gonna-
able to recover that hand axe that got lost into the moat?
You can definitely pick up some more hand axes.
Well, I have this size problem. That's why I'm trying to see if I can recover
right.
that sucker.
In the moat. Okay, well, yeah, sure. If you like took some time to do it, you definitely could have done it.
Okay.
You like went and trudged around the moat for a bit.
So
Yeah, I'm not going to lose a hand axe my size if I can avoid it.
Right, I forgot about that.
we're walking. Yeah.
Yeah, you're walking or riding, whichever you prefer. You can give me horses if you want, but the half giants have to walk.
I don't imagine the half giants can ride. So.
No, they have to walk. But I imagine their walking speed is close enough to that of a walking horse anyway.
Okay. Well, if there are horses, yeah, that we can take a horse.
Yeah, I mean their walking
Probably
speed is
use one too.
significantly faster than yours.
So, just to be kind of a dick, I'm bashing my hand axe on my shield in a rhythmic pattern and chanting quite loudly as we go through the town. The dead lie in silence upon the cold ground, and the calling of ravens is all of the sound. When the heroes have fallen, the birds always know, and the hunger of ravens their honor shall sow. The blackbird of Odin who blesses the slain shall rise filled from the field where the heroes have lain, where the Valkyrie bears men's souls upon her swift steed. The ravens shall thank them as they wing down to feed. And then when he gets to the end, he'll repeat it again until we get out of town, just so he's roused everybody in the town with our tale of our failed battle.
Yeah, you see a couple people stick their heads out of windows and shut up. But
I sing louder.
so you guys start going out of town. It's not going to be that far. It's going to be about 3 or 4 hours. And it's pretty uneventful. It's obviously raining. It's always raining. So I'm assuming you have your hoods up and stuff like that, cloaks tied tight. And about an hour in, you start hearing the howling of wolves. This is not unusual. This particular island is particularly filled with wolves, including the somewhat frightening thunder wolves. But you'll know the difference when you hear a howl from one of them. You can hear wolves howling quite regularly as you're going. Can everybody roll a perception check, please?
Maybe. Dice stream is not loading for me.
I got a total of 13.
Okay.
My dice stream is blank. There's nothing there.
That is odd.
I've just got a big white bar on the side of the screen.
Mine
can
took a
roll
little while to boot up. I got it and it said like dice text lower third and all that stuff, but it was just white other than that, and then
Okay.
I had to exit out of it and go back in to get it to work.
All right, let me try that. If I close it. Okay. Now how do I load it back up again? I've lost it now.
You can just roll dice again if you
some-
want.
I was gonna say somebody might have to open up Dice Stream and then it'll prompt you to add it to theirs or
Okay,
add it to
in the
yours.
meantime,
Or you go to the three dots and then the threes and apps. It should be.
I
in
rolled
there.
a 12 on the die plus 1 for perception. 13.
All right.
Alright.
You can hear some thudding footsteps approaching.
Footsteps approach. Something large.
Large.
A dismount.
From behind or?
From
Yeah.
your right-hand side. So you're on a road right now. On your right, a little bit, probably about 200 feet to your right, there's a sort of forest. To your left, it's just hills.
So I'll pull my shield down off my back on my left arm, and I'll take one of the hand axes in my right arm, and I'm pointing in the direction where I think the sound is coming from, and looking in that direction.
I'll dismount at this. I ended up with a 6, so I don't know what was going on until he jumped off his horse, so I'll follow suit. Follow suit. Right. Pull my shield off.
I'll bring my great axe to bear.
I'll light up a torch for my non-shield hand.
So you can actually, you can still hear the thudding approaching, but you can't really see anything. And then in the tall grass, you see a sort of rustle. And then you hear this, you actually feel it before you hear it, this low rumbling growl. Like a... deep enough that you can actually feel it rumbling in your chest. It's very, very loud. And the thudding gets faster. And you can see the grass moving.
Is this a bipedal or a quadrupedal?
It seems to be, it's low enough that you can't see it through the tall grass, but the grass is very tall.
No, I just mean like the thudding of the footsteps. Does it sound like...
Oh, it's definitely quadrupedal, for sure.
Does it sound like it's a singular creature?
It does. And then you guys pretty much, that's pretty much on you see it, and it's wolf, black fur, huge, the size of one of your horses, barreling towards you guys, and it lets out this howl. This
I would like to throw my hand axe before drawing my sword, but I don't know how fast it's going to get to me.
yeah, you have time.
I suppose maybe it's here to talk, but I kind of doubt it. Oh yeah, I don't have dice stream. I'm looking for the fucking dice thing. Okay. That's a 16 plus what for a thrown axe?
Will do.
16 plus 5. Yeah, 21.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damage is a d6 plus what? 3. 4 points of damage.
Okay. All right, so let's roll initiative.
I think I'd have a plus 3 initiative. I got a 12.
Okay.
I got an 8.
And what about you,
18.
Richard? 18?
5.
Okay. All right, so Tostig, you're actually the first one to kind of get your bearings and get ready to act, and you see this wolf thudding towards you. It's absolutely enormous, and he is charging towards you. He's probably about 30 feet away from you at the moment.
Okay, I'll move forwards, ready to take the charge, and probably duck out of the way as it comes past and try and swipe him in the belly.
Nice. Okay, so you're gonna move forward and ready in action, right? To like,
Yep.
smack it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, gotcha. All right. then it's actually the wolf's turn. So it charges towards you, and it's going to try and barrel into you. So I'm going to give you just the chance to do like a dex save and jump out of the way and then make an attack.
Okay. Oh, crap.
Uh-oh. All right, so it barrels into you entirely. Just you thought you might be able to like knock it to the side with the shield, but it actually just like leaps on top of you, knocked you to the ground, and bites into your shoulder. Hopefully.
Oh, not the same shoulder I took the arrow last time.
Oh yeah, I'm afraid it is.
Ah.
Okay, so that's going to be one of these. That's so lucky. All right, so it's going to be 4 points of damage.
Thank you, dog. Four points. Okay.
Okay, and you are prone and like pinned under this thing. Asvalder, you're next.
Okay, so Osvalder starts chanting a Viking kind of battle hymn, and I threw the axe last turn, so I will kind of move forward. I'm chanting the hymn, and I'm going to grant bardic inspiration to Aragast. But I'll make my attack as I step up to engage the wolf myself. I'll roll this d20 instead. 17 plus 5, 22.
You got it.
So the longsword comes down off the back, take a good swing, and that does a d8, so that's 5 plus 3, 8 points of damage.
Very nice.
And,
Okay.
So I'll give Bardic Inspiration to Aragast, and that'll be my turn. So I'm going to try to exit and come back in and see if I can get Dice Stream back up.
Sure, no problem. Cirque, you're next. Cirque.
Okay. I am going to go ahead and do my unstoppable charge. I'm going to barrel into him.
Nice.
Okay. So that gets the attack roll. Ah, son of a...
Damn it. Jesus, guys.
I run into a tree.
Right, I want to say you're charging and you crunch on Tustig's hand, which is out to the side. But you do barrel into the wolf, but it doesn't seem to get knocked off, so you're kind of like on top of it. But you do crunch on Tustig's hand, and he's going to drop the sword that's in it. Alright, Aragast, save them.
So, kind of seeing this ridiculous display of my allies kind of fumbling about, I'm going to drop my shield and take up my great spear. I'm not going to do my unstoppable charge, but I'm going to try to position myself between my allies and this creature and just try to, again, stab down on it while it's on top of Tostig at kind of an angle, so I don't stab into him too, but just try to kind of come down diagonally to just kind of pin it down or whatnot.
Okay, go for it.
Don't forget you
Alright,
got a
so-
D6 Bardic Inspiration die if you feel the need to use it. After
And I will use it, considering that's not awesome. And so that would be 7 plus 7 is a 14.
No, it's actually going to miss. You're going to whiff it, unfortunately. So you go to swing, but with all the confusion, whatever, the wolf is like slightly pushed down, and you just go slightly over its back. Tustig, it's you again.
Right, with my left hand, I'm just going to have to pull my dagger out and stab it in the eye.
All right, go for it.
Okay, so 8 on the dice, and would that be strength bonus, or is it a dex?
It'll be strength plus proficiency.
Okay, plus 4 then, so that's 12.
12. That's actually not going to do it. So you're actually going to like stab up into it, and it's just going to like graze the flesh, but not actually take at all. The wolf doesn't even seem to notice. The wolf goes next, and it is going to continue trying to bite you. Okay, that'll be 9 points of damage. Continuing to go for that shoulder.
9 points. Okay, it's hurting.
Okay, so then Aswalder, you're next.
It's Osvalder.
Oswalder. Aswalder.
Well, now seeing my friend Aragast over there, I tried to see. This is what happens when you try to befriend a half giant. They waste your bardic inspiration with a 1. Okay. 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 What am I gonna do here? This wolf is kind of kicking our ass at the moment. Ah, fuck it. I'm just gonna attack him.
Sure.
Nothing special. Just another longsword attack, keeping my shield up between me and him if I can. And that's a 3 plus. Oh, actually, I have dice stream up now too. Oh, anyway, I rolled a 3 plus 5, 8. I think I missed.
Okay. No, you're gonna miss as well. Yeah. Sirg.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and lay on hands on Torstig, since I'm right next to him, anyways. I'll go ahead and give him the full 10.
Okay.
Wow.
Very nice. Okay, Aragast, you're next.
So I'm gonna basically repeat what I tried to do last time and stab down at him from an angle. And that would be a 10, which surely misses.
It does.
And I'll take my action surge to try again.
Okay.
And that'll be a 23.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hit.
Alright, so that will be... $21 damage.
Nice. Okay, so the spear goes right into the wolf, knocks it off Tostig. It kind of skitters onto the ground and kind of like whimpers, but gets back up, and is now kind of a little bit further away, but snarling, ready to pounce again. So Tostig, it's your turn. You're no longer pinned to the ground.
Okay, first thing is retrieve my weapon. A sword. Oh, a bad hand. And shield, sword and shield, and get back in the fighting stance.
Yeah, sure. You can make an attack if you want.
Oh yeah, I've got that action surge thing. Does that work?
I mean, you just picking up a weapon is not gonna. I'm not gonna say it costs you anything.
Generally, you can ready one weapon in a turn anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're all good to go.
I shall go then. Was that rolled an 8 again?
Just so you know, Whitey, action surge is handy to use after you've finished your action. If you want to take another action, you can use an action surge once before a long rest. So it could get an extra attack in, or if you decide like you need to disengage and move away, something like that comes in handy.
Okay, that's 18.
Yeah,
total.
that's gonna do it. That's a hit.
Okay, damage is D8. So 6 plus 3, I think it was.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, no, is it strength again?
It's strength.
Yeah, 6
Plus 3.
plus 2. Sorry, plus 2.
Okay.
So 8.
No problem. Very nice.
And his skull.
So it's definitely looking pretty rough now. The wolf's going to go, and it's going to continue to select the target it had gone for initially. So Tostig, I'm afraid it's you again.
Well, get the shield in the way.
I think it's going to miss though. So 14.
Yeah, it needs 19.
All right, yeah. So it goes for you, but you kind of lift your shield up in the way, and it kind of claws the shield, takes a bite at the rim of the shield, but is unable to get to you. It's yourself. Aswalder.
God damn it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Well. Yeah, I'm not gonna waste his spells, will I? No. Just another attack. So, die and damage. Here we go. That's gonna hit. That's 21 for 11 points of damage.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very much on the ropes. Sirg. You're muted.
Oh, I just did it backwards there. I'm going to go ahead and try and finish him off here. Let me go ahead and take my swing. Let's see, total of 14.
No, that's actually going to miss.
Okay.
Unfortunately, just by one. You kind of shave a couple of hairs off the side of it, but don't manage to actually connect properly. Aragast.
And I'll move back up to it, and I'll kind of shout, "Leave him be!" referring to Toast Egg, and making another swing with a natural 20. So
Wow. Yeah, you kill it, so go ahead and describe it.
I want to roll anyhow, just because it's so much damage. So yeah, I hit it for an obscene amount of damage, and just completely skewer it with my spear. And as it punctures through the sides of its ribs and through its chest, I'll just pin it to the ground and kind of hold it there for a moment, just to make sure it doesn't like jump back up like a berserker we fought did.
Yeah, no, it's definitely dead. So this is actually a pretty big deal. You've killed a Thunderwolf, and they're like very tough and kind of it's like a good omen for a warrior to have a Thunderwolf skin. And the teeth and stuff like that are worth quite a bit of money, and the claws and all that sort of stuff, and even the bones are worth quite a bit of money. So if you guys want to strip it or anything, you would know that that's like a worthwhile investment.
What do we say? Everybody take a trophy, and then the rest we sell? Anybody have anything in mind?
Tooth.
It's probably one of the few animals that's big enough to make a cloak for a half giant.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking about too.
Like a normal wolf definitely wouldn't be enough for you guys, but a thunder wolf is big enough. In terms of like what's worth money, the pelt is worth a lot of money, and then the teeth particularly, and then also the claws are worth quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
How heavy do you think it might be?
Oh, it's really heavy. It's as heavy as a horse.
The whole wolf, yeah.
I was going to say, since I was near useless, I think Aragast should have the first call on the pelt there.
I agree.
Alright,
that's all I can ask.
Sir, thank you for the healing.
I would certainly take claim to the kind of the head and the back fur to kind of make a cloak.
I'll start removing teeth and claws, and we can just kind of spread them out amongst each other.
Yeah, sweet. It's I'm gonna say you guys are well able to skin an animal, so
there's 4 of us here, so we could each have a canine to make to make some kind of a trophy out of.
Yeah, fits in nicely.
Yeah.
Lucky Thunderwolf paw.
I think that might be too big for me and Toasting to carry around anyway.
Yeah, the paw is enormous.
Given their size, the canine's probably big enough to use for a handle for a weapon for giants anyways. Probably actually function as a weapon if you wanted to carve it up into a dagger or something.
Yeah, you definitely could. And you actually know that Thunderwolves are kind of magical, and that their claws, and that's why their claws and teeth are so worth so much money, is that they actually make very good weapons. They're very, very sharp. They seem to just slice through armor.
In that case, I think we probably take all the teeth and all the claws, and those that we're not directly interested in, we might, I don't know, try to barter with in town.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Okay, so you set to taking the thing apart.
Yeah, if nothing else, so when we reach this other town, they know we mean business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Alright, so
I'll remount and just keep watch while they're doing that.
Grand.
And as he's kind of gathering the hide, I look at Aragast and say, unfortunately, we skinned the wrong wolf. A couple of days too late on this one.
And I'll give Asvalder kind of a grin and nod.
You can actually see in the line of the grass, there's probably 10 wolves, normal-sized wolves, just watching. And as you set to like starting to skin this thing, they kind of pad backwards back into the grass towards the forest.
And after we finish, I'll kind of kick what's left of the corpse just kind of off the roadside in case predators or whatever else want to come feast upon it.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so you guys start taking the thing apart. You take it apart pretty well. You get claws, teeth, bones if you want them, and the actual skin itself, and continue on your journey.
Is there
So-
any problems with its meat?
No, it's edible.
Okay. I was gonna say we should probably take enough to where we can balance out our rations with real food.
Ah, yes, good idea. See, Zerg, you're not useless.
It's definitely gamey and tough, but it's edible for sure.
I don't suppose you know how to cook.
Well enough.
You guys manage to get going and continue, and you get to the village probably about another hour and a half later. So it's getting morning time. Still raining. You guys are soaked. Your cloaks are soaked, and you get to the village, and there's like a palisade around the outside, and there's this soaked guard standing outside, well, sleeping outside. He's like leaning against one of the posts and head down like this, hood over his face. So you can just walk right by him if you want.
Totally would.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys get into the town. It's small enough. There's like quite a big longhouse, a couple of houses and stuff, and then a couple of shops and stuff like that. Not shops, craftsmen and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And you can hear quite a ruckus coming from the longhouse, like people singing and stuff like that. So you assume that they're still drinking.
How do we want to approach this? Who should go in first, you think? Should we let one of the giants, sorry, half giants go first?
What was the name of
carrying a wolf pelt, or?
What was the name of the Huskarl whose son was killed?
I'll tell you now. His name, Ostvig.
And they say my name's stupid.
So this village is called Ostvigheim. That's kind of the way they do it, right? It's whoever's in charge of the village has to name it after them.
All right.
So this is Ostvigheim, and the Huskarl who runs it is called Ostvig.
And we don't know who's in charge since he's dead.
No, his son is dead.
That was his son.
Oh, his son's dead. Okay, good. So do you guys want me to go in first then, since I'm human and not quite as unpersonable as Tostig?
That would be my recommendation.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm obviously much better looking than you.
Bastards.
Just call
People
if
just
you need
generally
a...
like me more.
I can't imagine why.
Surely it's his winning personality.
Yeah, just a bunch of bastards who.
Oh, well. Listen, it has nothing to do with your battle prowess, I assure you. You are an excellent pincushion on the battlefield.
Yeah.
So I'll start walking towards the longhouse.
Okay.
And basically go walk up, just throw the doors open.
Yeah.
And call out for the Huskarl. Ostvig!
Alright, so you throw the doors open. It's like smoky and it smells of piss and beer. And there's like this particularly large guy sitting on this sort of throne, I guess, and he's like asleep with a horn in his hand. And there's kind of people passed out on benches and stuff around the place. And there are still people up and singing and drinking and stuff like that. And you come in, you shout Ostvig, and it's like in a western where the piano stops, you know, everyone just turns and has a look at who the hell this is. And one of these guys stands up, hey, who are you? How did you get in here?
I'm Osvalder Halfdanson. I've been sent here on behalf of Lord Gunn to investigate and set right the horrible murder of Ostvig's son. Are you Lord Ostvig?
Fuck no.
Then get out of my face and get me the one who is.
Oh, all right. Hey, calm down, little man.
Little man?
So this guy walks over.
I'll step up, fingering the Thunderwolf tooth hanging from my neck.
Yeah.
Little man?
Shut up.
Let my friends in behind me.
I'll peer in through the door, kind of just over his shoulder, kind of crouching down a little bit.
Nobody seems to notice you hanging around the door. This guy walks over, kind of over some bodies, steps on some people, and then gets to the guy on the throne. He like starts shaking him, and nothing happens. And he like shakes him a bit more vigorously, and nothing happens. And he like grabs him by the hair and like slaps him in the face. And the guy's like, "Ugh, whoa, what?" And then he like spits this huge loogie up. Stretches. What are you waking me for? And then he kind of turns and sees you. Who the fuck are you?
We've walked here from Gunner's Home to set right the wrongs that were done against you and your family.
Oh, okay. So you're here to adjudicate. Oh, fuck. He gets up and he kind of looks around the various horns that are around and he picks one up. It's full of water. He just like pours it over his head. He pulls the like greasy black hair out of his face. Ugh, okay. Alright, so he walks over and then he extends a hand. I'm Ostvig.
I'll shake his hand, manly like. Give him a warrior's handshake. I'm Osvalder. This here is Tostig Sigmarsson.
Shake his hand.
Pleased to meet you.
And are you guys coming in yet, or are you guys still standing outside the door?
I'm waiting for the haze, it's okay to come in, and because you know, we probably shouldn't startle the crap out of them.
And I'll say our two Shire companions are still standing outside. Aragast, Serg, it's okay.
And I'll kind of duck down and kind of come in. I don't know how high the roof is, but
Yeah,
I
you
imagine
definitely have to
the
duck.
door isn't. I imagine the door isn't giant height, so.
Yeah, so you like crouch under and the guy goes, "Oh fuck!" Like reaches for like a weapon or whatever, and people around are like, "Oh fucking hell, Jesus!"
And I have the pelt of the wolf kind of slung over my right shoulder, with the head kind of sticking out to the front.
Relax, they're with us.
It's all right, boys.
And Aragast.
He definitely looks wary. He just kind of looks you up and down, and turns back to Oswalder, and says, "Well, I'm glad you're here. My boy, he was killed last night. He was found this morning when he didn't turn up to the meeting. I don't know what happened. Nobody knows what happened. We think it was the servant. So we have him locked up."
In what condition was the body? How do you think he died?
He was badly beaten and stabbed several times.
Is there a horn of meat anywhere?
Oh yeah, everywhere.
Good, get one. I'll let my companions kind of do the talking for now. Just step in if I feel like somebody needs to be diplomatic, but at the moment I'm just going to listen.
Where's the body? Can we look?
Yeah, it's laid out in the temple.
You said you think the servant killed him. Would the servant be able to beat him and kill him so easily?
I don't know about easily, but the servant is a slave thrall. Used to be a warrior himself. We've put him in a cage outside. The boys roughed him up a little, but he's still alive.
Is there anyone else who would have qualms or grievances with your son? Or you, perhaps?
Well, I know that my son was definitely not kind to the servant. He's given to fits of rage, I suppose. Runs in the family.
So you don't think this was done simply to get at you?
I hadn't really thought about it. I've been drinking a lot.
Understandable.
I don't know. I guess you could ask around town. All the boys in here are in no condition to discuss such matters. But the rest of the town is probably at least sober.
Aside from revenge, is there anything to gain from killing your son?
I don't know. I guess one of my other sons would move up, but I don't think that's something that happened. They love each other.
So is he your eldest?
He was eldest of 7.
Interesting. And he was just found in his home or on the street or where?
He was found in his home. His wife and children are out visiting the in-laws. They're out of town. And so this morning, when he didn't come to the meeting, we went to go wake him, and we found his body. Or I should say yesterday morning.
I see. We should talk with his servant, and perhaps others.
I'm sure you'll do the right thing. If Lord Gunn sent you, I'm sure you're capable.
And as he says that, I'll just kind of brush my hand down the head of this pelt.
He kind of takes it in. Ooh. A Thunderwolf?
We had a little bump along the way on our walk here, but nothing we couldn't handle.
Impressive. I can see where Lord Gunn sent you. And I trust you'll be able to figure this out quickly.
Certainly
Yes,
hope so.
Can you have someone show us to this servant?
You can't miss him. If you go out of the longhouse, walk around the back, he's in the gibbet.
Excellent.
So you guys turn to leave. He picks up another horn or something, kind of looks in it. Fuck it. I take the drink. You go back out into the rain, walk around behind, and out behind there is this sort of gibbet set up, and in the cage is this naked man, badly wounded, covered in bruises and cuts, and like shivering violently.
What's his medical condition? I have a proficiency in medicine, don't I? Yeah, I do. Does he look like he's not going to live very long?
With probably with just some blankets and stuff, he'd be fine. He's been beaten, but not, he's not mortally wounded.
I'll,
they know that that's not their job to do. They're not allowed to do that. Justice has to come from the Jarl.
Are there any cloaks or hides around anywhere?
No, I guess you guys have cloaks though.
I wasn't suggesting giving my cloak.
Well, he's not having
Our
mine.
guest should have a second.
So he sees you guys walk around the corner anyway. He sees the 2 half-giants, and he doesn't recognize you guys, and he kind of looks in your direction, and he's got this huge black puffy eye. He kind of starts for a second and kind of confused as to why there are half-giants walking around town. And then he puts 2 and 2 together, and he says, "Oh, you're from the Jarl."
We are.
Oh,
Why did you kill the boy?
I didn't kill the boy.
Insight check?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm not very good at it. This is at a -1.
I was gonna say I am, however, and I'm still
Okay.
I'm looking to do it.
Yeah, me too.
Dice Roller's gonna hate me this game apparently.
I got a 14 with my -1.
Okay.
I got an
Very
8.
bad.
What was the skill? Insight, did you say?
Insight, yeah.
Wait. What's that?
The rest of you guys definitely can't really tell. He seems very desperate, so you don't know what he would say in the situation, but he He's not giving anything away, obviously.
Yeah, a likely story. Of course, you're always innocent.
If I was stupid enough to kill the Huskarl's son, do you not think I would have run away?
If you were stupid enough to kill the Huskarl's son, you might have been stupid enough not to run away.
Or to believe that you wouldn't be caught. What proof do you have that you're innocent?
I don't have an alibi. I was asleep. They pulled me out of my bed this morning, kicked the shit out of me, and locked me up here.
And if we can't prove that somebody else killed this son of the Huskarl, Serg here is going to rip you apart come morning.
So you're his servant. You spend so much time with him. Who else might have killed him? Who would have reason to?
Honestly, I think it was the Huskarl.
Why would he kill his child?
They fight constantly, and the Huskarl is given to bouts of rage. He loses his temper a lot. Wouldn't be the first person he's killed in this town. I heard raised voices last night.
We were told that the son suffers from the same condition. Can you verify that?
He does. He often took his frustrations out on me.
Has he ever beat his wife or children before?
Often. He's a bad man. He's an honorless dog. He doesn't fight. He doesn't do anything worthy. He runs his house through fear, just as his father does.
What about his other servants? Or other people he interacts with around town?
Well, Ostvig the Younger, I'm his only servant. Huskarl himself has many times hurt people, if not killed people. It's obviously kept very quiet. Nobody admits to it, but we all know what happens. I didn't do this. I didn't kill him. I always tried to help him gain control of his condition, to become a better man, even though I'm enthralled to him. He's young, he's foolish, he's impetuous, but I thought maybe some of my grizzled old bastard personality would rub off on him and gain some sort of decency. It's too late for that now.
And his wife and children are out of town somewhere, they said?
Yes, they're visiting the wife's family.
It's convenient timing.
How long have you been a thrall?
Going on 10 years now. I was captured, well, I was defeated in a raid. And I surrendered.
And he's given you no chance to prove yourself to join his house and swear fealty?
None. He's a cruel man. He treats his servants very badly.
10 years is a long time to wait without pushing for your own honor.
I have tried many times throughout the years. I have pleaded with the Huskarl for some sort of opportunity. I'm not incapable. I am a very capable fighter. And yet, he makes me clean up after his son. He makes me take care of the horses. He makes me clean the fucking mead mugs.
Sounds like you have plenty of motive.
Oh, I have plenty of motive, but I didn't do it. If I was to kill him, we would fight like men.
But yet you think that the Huskarl killed his own son, and his only motive would be the fact that they have a rocky relationship?
Yes.
You think that's enough for him to kill his own son?
I don't think it takes anything at all for the Huskarl to kill somebody. If they were to get into an argument, they both have a short enough fuse that they would easily lose their tempers and easily come to blows. And if it came to that, the Huskarl is a much more capable warrior.
So you said you were sleeping when they came to get you. Was the sun still up when you went to bed?
Yes.
What was happening the previous day?
The wife had gone away, and there was an argument between the Huskarl and the son. They're planning a raid, and the son was told he's not to come, that he's to stay here and protect the village, and he found this offensive. They had a large argument in front of the crowd in the mead hall, and then last night, as I was sleeping, I was awoken a little bit. I heard voices shouting. I didn't dare go check.
So he disgraced his father in public.
Yes, well, the father disgraced him, and then he equally replied with choler.
And when you said when you went to bed, you heard shouting.
I was awoken, in fact.
Was it two male voices?
It was.
Did you recognize them?
I couldn't tell, but I can only assume. Well, I mean, I know it must have been Osvig the Younger, and I can only assume that the father came by to discuss what happened at the meeting, and things went badly.
And how long was this before you were awakened yet again with...
I went back to sleep, and then yesterday morning I was awoken, being pulled out of my bed by the Huskarl and his men. They dragged me into the center of town, they beat me within an inch of my life, and they locked me here.
And if the Huskarl is removed, who's the second eldest son? Who takes his place?
That would be Sven.
And I'll just kind of walk over to Serg, because he seems to have a good head for these kind of things. And I'll try to say under my voice, perhaps the whole thing is a ruse by Sven to put himself in power as well. Elder brother out of the way, Huskarl gets the blame.
You'll get a curt nod from Cirkin. I'm gonna look around, since Cirk is kind of what is it? Not religious, but superstitious. There we go. I'm gonna look for crows.
Okay. Yeah, there is, in fact, a single crow on top of the gibbet.
Okay. What's the crow looking to?
It's looking in the direction of the longhouse.
Okay.
I see a cockatoo.
I will. I'll go ahead and remove my cloak and pass it through the gate, through the grate to him.
Yeah, he gratefully accepts. He said, "Thank you." It's damn fucking cold out here. He wrapped himself up in it.
It is. By Odin, we are sworn to uphold justice. I have heard your story. Now I must seek out the others and see what theirs is. Aside from the Huskarl, which other men took you?
5 of his bodyguards.
Did they present any proof against you, aside from hearsay and suspicion?
None. There is no evidence.
There's no evidence for either side right now. And that is what's needed to continue any sort of hearing, so we must find it.
Indeed. The gods are good, and they will get to the truth of this.
Oh, we will. Let's go and have a look at the body.
I believe we're done here. Agreed. We should go check the body next.
I just want to have a quick check on this guy too, since I was checking his medical condition earlier, just to kind of get a basic estimate of what his own strength and potential, martial prowess could be. If I could see, does he still look like he's capable of fighting? How strong does he look?
Oh yeah.
Just when we examine the body to see if the wounds look like something that he could have inflicted or not.
Do his hands look like he has bleeding knuckles or anything like that?
They do. Yeah, I mean he's built like he's big. He's like really badly injured in the face. He's got big bruises and a couple of cuts as well, all over his body. But his knuckles are bloody.
Bloodied knuckles during the fight with those girls, man. Maybe.
Yes, we should see the body and maybe speak with the family as well. His mother and siblings might have some interesting stories to tell.
So to get to the body, you need to go to the temple. That's no problem. It's not a temple in what you would imagine in a typical D&D sense. It's basically, it's almost outside. It's like a gazebo, I guess. It's like a covered little thing with no walls, and there's a slab, a stone slab, and on it is the body. And there's a kind of older man. He's wearing a mask, and he is just pacing around it, chanting.
Okay.
We should be careful before indicating any suspicion towards the Huskarl.
Agreed.
Indeed.
Who is the temple to?
It's to Freya.
All right. I'll go ahead and pay the normal respects, nothing too extravagant, as I enter.
Yeah, the Gothi who's walking around stops and greets you guys. Welcome. I assume you're here under the auspices of Jarl Gunnarsson.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Come see the body.
The gods will find the truth of this matter.
What do you think? You think it was the servant?
I do not involve myself in the squabbles of men.
That's a wise policy.
So the
Any of
body
gods
is...
spoke to you?
The gods have said nothing about this particular incident. Why would they?
Exactly. This is
I believe they may have already. Perhaps not to yourself, but I have my own suspicions.
Well, I hope that you are right. The sooner we can sort this out, the better. There's a tension in the air, a very uncomfortable feeling, like a pot about to overboil.
You feel that someone was about to lash out then?
I think someone is about to lash out now. There's too much tension in the town. The men have been drinking continuously, and they know the Huskarl is given to bouts of rage.
So you think him and his men might take it out on the rest of you?
They might take it out on anyone.
In a funeral, it's not uncommon to drink continuously for days. Do you think this is extravagant, even for a funeral?
I believe so. The Huskarl is given to drinking a lot, anyway, more than is normal. He has an unhealthy appetite for alcohol.
Are you suggesting he is not fit to rule?
I would never suggest such a thing. The gods have chosen him to lead, and so he will lead until the gods decide he will not.
And this is the body before us?
It is Ostvig the Younger.
Do another medicine check, I suppose. See if I can find any forensic evidence. Well, you know. Hang on a second, I'll pull my camera back up here now. Do the dice streamy thing. So my medicine's +1. Ooh. 3.
He's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, he's definitely dead. Giving the body a quick once over, you can see that he has, in fact, been beaten very badly. His jaw and nose are broken, and it looks like his cheekbone's been collapsed as well. And then he also has several stab wounds through his chest.
Does it seem like it might have been a dagger or a sword or an axe, or like how big are these wounds?
It looks like a dagger, some kind, probably a CX, which is like the standard sort of dagger short sword.
From the front or from the back?
From the front. He also has severe bruising around his neck.
That's strange. So he's beaten,
Sax.
choked, and stabbed.
Sax is a warrior's weapon. Slaves shouldn't have access to that. It's really like a warrior class weapon, so.
And you said there was a lot of bruising, right?
Yeah, he's been quite badly beaten. Like all over. Not just the face, but like all over.
Beaten, strangled, and stabbed. Would it be pretty safe to say that some of these wounds were administered after he was already dead? What do you think?
I don't think he would have bruised necessarily so much if he was already dead. Though the stab wounds, that's a different story.
That sounds like it might be covered by investigation. I'll go ahead and give it a shot. Yeah, I got a 10.
Yeah, so piecing together, you figured that the stab wounds were definitely made by a dagger sort weapon. You assume it would be a CX. That's kind of the standard thing that people would carry. Warriors would carry anyway. Too big to be just like a knife, like a.
Yeah, because depending on the size of its wound, it should have a little bit different look if it's a CX.
Right.
Then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's too big to be just a knife. Quite a lot of bruising around the throat, and then the rest of the body as well, like from head to toe.
How is he dressed? Is he dressed as if he was preparing for bed, or if he was just like out normally?
Yeah, like
dressed?
he's in a pretty simple sort of tunic, so you reckon he could have been going to bed.
I'll look to the priest. Have his clothes been changed?
Not yet. I knew that the Jarl would send people to investigate. I thought I would leave the body as it is.
Was a weapon found that caused these wounds?
No.
We'll check his fingernails, see if he's got any incriminating evidence. Skin. Cloth.
Looking at his hands, you can see that his knuckles are also bloody.
So it fought back. Good.
And yeah, there's a little bit of skin and stuff under his fingernails. Blood.
Might not prove anything. They could always explain it away. Yeah, could explain it away as fighting against the thrall.
He doesn't have any like torn cloth in his hand or anything of that sort.
No, he does not.
What about in his mouth?
You can open it up.
Yeah, just see if there's anything in there.
No, there's not.
Okay. His breath stinks.
Yeah, it
He's
does.
dead.
And the stab wounds are only on the front side. How many stab wounds did he have?
Probably about nearly 20.
Wow.
Like,
And
way over what's needed.
like looking at his clothing, can we gauge at all like angle or anything? Are they like basically straight in, or coming down, or going up, or all the above?
They're coming down.
So he was probably already down on the ground, if not dead, at least unconscious before he was stabbed.
Not necessarily. If they're downward, it could just be a downward thrust, but sea axes aren't used that way. They're used for
Or he could have
slashing
been
and
killed
chopping.
He could have been killed by a half giant too. Who was taller than him, I suppose.
Right, but what I'm getting at is whoever was doing it was either unskilled, didn't care, or was possibly drunk enough to not realize that they're using the weapon properly.
Sloppy.
The priest says, Ostvig the Younger had a sword in his hand, but the sword is unbloodied, so he died in a way that would allow him to go to Valhalla. So whoever killed him took that consideration.
Or they placed it there after the fact.
Yeah, it's unbloodied, but his hands are marked. Are both hands marked?
Yeah. So you can piece together easily that either, like, after he died, he was given a sword, because as long as you have a sword while you're dying, then you get to go.
Was it his own
That's
sword?
something that like a battered slave would probably think to do for his oppressor if you were to kill him, don't you think?
I wouldn't think a slave who has been denied his freedom for 10 years would give the courtesy.
Nope.
How deep are the wounds? Were they proper strikes?
Yeah, like all the way in. You assume like you actually, if you turn him over, you'll see it actually nearly out the other side.
Is he missing a chunk of hair at all?
Yes.
He could have been grabbed from the back, pulled back, and the first wound go into his chest because there's a wound that's there, and that could have been pretty much enough to start the process, and then spun around and just continued to repeat that pattern because they've already got the knife upside down at that point. Because the missing hair.
What about his home? Had they cleaned up after the mess there, or is it left how it was?
You just have to go check it out.
That should probably be our next port of call then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the priest gives you a blessing as you leave, and you head to the home. Walking in, you can see the place is a total wreck. Like there's clearly signs of a struggle. You can see that like some of the, I guess, shelves and stuff have been smashed off the walls as if someone had been thrown into them. There's stuff littered all over the ground, and you can see a big pool of blood where the body had been.
Are there any like footprints, bloody footprints, smears in any direction, anything like that?
Yeah, they go outside, but then outside it's so rainy that there's nothing in terms of trail.
Are there any other homes or anything around here?
It's kind of one of the bigger homes, since it's the Huskarl's eldest son, so it's a little bit outside. Like it's next to it is the actual Huskarl's house, and then the houses of the other brothers and stuff like that. And then there's like a little. This is actually like within its own little palisaded off area, you know. And then there's like the longhouse and everything else outside.
Could we tell how large the footprints were? Regular man-sized?
Yeah, regular man-sized. Like, I mean, big, but, you know, definitely a man.
Still don't prove anything, though, does it?
Well, it looks like you guys are ruled out. I wink it.
What about the door? Is there like any like locking mechanism or signs of forced entry or anything like that?
And no signs of forced entry.
That footprint, is it like mud on the floor so it's raised up, or is it outside the door?
It's the footprints that you see are leaving.
Okay, so they're in the house and it's It's not really an imprint. It's embossment. But yeah. Okay.
It's kind of like it's like the blood has just like pooled under the feet, and then they've walked out with them.
Oh, okay.
Just
That's harder to
walk
work
first.
with. No, there's a way you can get a footprint, but not like that.
How many footprints? Just the one.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
if they
I mean,
haven't
it
recovered
looks.
the body, there might be a whole mess of them.
Yeah, there's actually like quite a few sets and stuff. The pool of blood where the body was, there's like quite a bit of mess there, like different footprints and stuff. You assume people came in and picked up the body and left with it, you know?
Yeah, that wouldn't be useful, actually. Too much. Does the room look like it's been sifted over for the weapon?
For the murder weapon,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't look like anyone's really searched the place.
All right, so I guess that's the first thing that we should do is search the place for any sort of murder weapon or evidence.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of look around the room, investigate, see if there's anything that looks like it's out of place. I know a lot of stuff's been knocked around, but like something that maybe didn't fall off a shelf, like something that might have fallen off a person.
Or even, you know what you could look for is a sword hanger. Because he got a sword from somewhere.
We should interview the other sons.
For now, we should probably just search the room on our own.
As soon as we're here, might as well.
Okay.
Alright guys, give us an investigation check.
Let's see.
I got a 19.
Nice. Okay, so you, having a quick look around, well actually quite a careful look around, you notice that there's a brooch kind of cast to the side, and it's actually been stood on. And it's like gold, and it's definitely like a sort of insignia.
Looks like it's been like smashed deliberately, kind of thing, thrown.
Right,
on
like
the-
it's
I was
been
gonna
ripped
say, it
off.
looks like it got ripped off, so there's like broken links from a chain and everything on there.
Okay.
Can we piece it back together? Anybody know mending? Damn it, where's Knock?
You see, the insignia on it is a boar, and you saw that on banners coming into the town. So you would assume that's the crest of the Huskarl.
This might be useful, and I'll show it to everybody else. If we can find the maker of this particular insignia, we could probably get a direct answer as to who it belonged to.
Interesting. It may even be a family heirloom.
That becomes the question: is who actually wore it?
Considering what he was garbed in, it doesn't seem like something he would have been wearing at the time.
If it's a symbol of his house and it's a simple necklace, it is possible that he could have worn it. But I think whoever the jeweler or blacksmith in town is that handles this sort of thing might give us a better answer as to who typically wore this item.
Yep, absolutely. So where to next?
You guys want to start with the sons, or do you want to go over to the blacksmith?
I like the idea of the blacksmith just because it's not necessarily incriminating or tipping our hand too much yet.
I agree. And the other thing is that the Sons is almost kind of like another investigative kind of path to follow, whereas this way we're still following the clues that we found.
Yep, agreed.
Okay.
Yep, no
I feel
problems.
like we're going to meet a lot of resistance talking to the family.
That's my
Maybe.
concern too.
So you can make your way to this this blacksmith / jeweler. Quite a short, stocky man wearing this heavy leather apron. He's kind of just out of bed, and he's having his breakfast as you walk in. And he does the standard that you've gotten everywhere else, which is, oh, you must be from the Jarl.
Mm-hmm. We
So
are.
obviously everyone in town's been expecting you.
Yeah. We are. I do have a question for you.
Mhm.
I found this necklace during our investigations. Do you know who it belongs to so that I might return it? And I'll present the necklace.
He picks it up and has a look, and then turns it over, and he gets this sort of sort of like a magnifying glass, I guess. He takes a quick look. He puts it to the side, and he says, "Oh yes, well this belonged to Ostvig the Younger. It was his insignia. They all have one. I've put a marking in the back of each one, determining which member of the house it belongs to."
Very well. I'll be sure to add it to the things that will be on his longboat then.
Rightly so.
Anything else we want from this guy before we leave him to his
No.
breakfast?
Fortunately, that kind of turned into a dead end faster than I was hoping.
Well, not necessarily, Serg. If it was Ostvig's insignia, it's his family insignia for one, right? And it was his personal effect. It tends to
explain
lend
the,
credence to the story that the Huskarl and he were involved in a fight. Perhaps the Huskarl tore it from him and smashed it.
Unfortunately,
in
the same
anger.
could be said of. Unfortunately, the same could be said of the slave. He's got choke bruises. If I was to gain the handle of that necklace, I'd twist it down and choke him.
But why smash the insignia? That seems to be more of a passionate thing to do.
It may have been smashed in the fray. If it doesn't sound like the Younger was not a warrior himself. He could have possibly broken the necklace by pushing away from the hand, or pushing the hand away from him.
Didn't you say, Lloyd, that it looked like it had been stomped on or something?
Yeah, it's definitely been damaged. Like,
Yeah.
somebody's like either stood in it or like tried to like smash it with the end of a weapon or something. It's definitely been damaged.
Okay, so it looks purposely damaged, not just like stepped on
Purposely.
casually. Okay. Then yeah, there is a lot of credence to what you're saying.
What do you think, Tostig?
I think we should let the Huskarl and the Thrall go toe to toe. Whoever wins is the truth.
Surely the Huskarl would win.
Not
You
necessarily.
mean to let the gods decide? He has to be a free man before you can do that.
Does he? Right.
We are here under Lord Gunn's authority. We could. I don't know. You know more about the law than I do, Serg. Obviously, could we free him for this purpose, since he's laid an accusation against the Huskarl?
You probably could.
So it's a sticky subject. We can.
Yeah.
However, we are then overstepping the Huskarl that's currently in this area, and we may get resistance. Is kind of the most polite way to put that.
Right, exactly. Like you have the authority to do it, but whether it's a good idea or not is a different question.
I mean,
We
if we were to
almost
do
killed
it with
Lord Gunn the other day.
if we do it with the auspices of conducting out a trial by combat, I'm sure that we won't get as much pushback from the people.
And Lord Gunn wouldn't have sent us here to take care of this if he had any faith in the fact that the Huskarl could sort it out himself.
There are other trials that we could administer, but I'm inclined to believe combat may be the better option myself.
I still think we should talk to the Sons, see if anything that
Definitely.
they say might lend credence to the slave's accusation.
And the Huskarl's wife
Agreed.
as well. Before we leave the blacksmith, I'd kind of like to turn to him and ask, Is there any form of night watch in this town? Anyone who surveys the streets to keep them safe while
That
the others
doesn't
sleep?
sleep.
No, there's the guy on the front gate, I guess. It's pretty safe here.
Okay.
He'll still be asleep when we leave.
I was kind of under the impression that we had left the blacksmith already. I wouldn't have said probably that stuff out loud in front of
Yeah, I
him.
assumed you weren't saying it to him.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Right, let's go wake the family up and talk to the sons then. What do you think?
Agreed.
Or we could do it in the
Um,
morning. I mean, I think that's just as well.
Yeah, I think the morning might
he's,
work best.
All right, so you want to hang around for a bit and kind of maybe get some breakfast or something, and then when people get up, start asking questions.
Yeah.
Sounds
How many hours is it before the blacksmith?
It's- Yeah, it's already getting bright. You reckon like
yeah,
an hour
maybe
or
take a
two
short
would be
rest,
like-
get some food.
Yeah, do you want to go into the longhouse and do that, or do you want to just like eat outside?
We might as well go into the
I'd like to
longhouse.
go to the longhouse. Maybe we'll overhear something. Who knows?
Sure.
Exactly.
Get us out of this pissing rain as well.
All right, so heading back to the longhouse. It's definitely quieter now than it was earlier. Most people have passed out and gone to sleep. The Husk Girl definitely has. Looking at him again, you realize he has one of those brooches on as well, like a necklace with the insignia. His is a little bit bigger, a little bit fancier, but he's wearing the same emblem anyway.
He's passed out right now?
He's passed out, yeah.
Is there anybody around him that's not passed out?
Pretty much everyone's asleep.
Can I go up and try to sneakily have a look at the Huskar and see if he's got any bruising around his neck? How are his knuckles, etc.?
Yep, sure.
I don't know what you want me to roll or how you want me to go about all that.
I don't think it's going to be difficult for you to sneak. Everyone's pretty much unconscious.
Yeah.
But just investigation, I guess. But it'll be easy.
Any
Yeah,
chance
I'd
I
like
can make
to
it medicine
see-
instead? Because
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
proficient in it.
I'd like to see if he had like blood on his cloak or beard or any of that.
Yeah.
I am going to use my inspiration because I rolled a fucking 3. Fuck you. Yeah. Oh, okay.
All right, but even a cursory glance will show you that he has blood on his knuckles. Actually, a little bit splashed in his face as well. You can actually see a bit of a welt on his right cheek.
You see that, guys? It's not very likely that the slave did that to him.
No.
Not with 5 guards, anyways.
Blood splashed on his face. Would that be consistent with the if you were standing over somebody, stabbing them in the chest repeatedly with a axe?
Yeah.
Does he have any like arms at his side or on his belt or anything like that?
Axe?
Check his boot.
Yeah, you would think the usual places would be either behind him, the small of his back, or in his boot.
Are his guards
Well,
passed
he
out
is
here too?
drunk.
Everybody in here is pretty much unconscious. They've just
Okay.
hit
We're
the end
going
of
to
the
take
session,
our
I guess.
time and just wander through and inspect everybody who's all passed out, I guess, because
Yeah,
there's no
no
reason
problem.
not to.
So
I'm
the
gonna
guys who
try
are
something.
closest to the Huskar, also kind of the biggest guys, you see that they all have bloody knuckles and stuff, and you can assume easily that that's from beating up the thrall. And that's
I'm looking for anybody who's missing a CX mainly.
right. Okay. Yeah. Well, everybody's carrying mostly, apart from the Huskar himself, who doesn't seem to have one in his boot, but it might be in the small of his back. You haven't like picked him up to check.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was going to try to do next. Since he's kind of drunk and everything, I'll see if I can kind of roll him a little bit and
Yeah. Okay, so it's a stealth.
Okay, yeah, I'm actually good at stealth. +5, so that's a 16.
Yeah, okay, no problem. So you're able to roll him just a little bit, and you can see that he does have a CX there in the small of his back, kind of at the back of his belt.
I want to have a look at it, see if it's covered in blood.
You want to pull it out?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it sticks a little bit, and there is just like a little sort of residue. It's not like covered or anything, but there is some blood on it. Which is also like immediately suspicious because no self-respecting warrior will put a bloody blade back in a scabbard.
Yeah, there's no reason to.
Yeah.
You guys, I'll kind of, hey guys, come here. Look at this. I don't want it to be my word against his.
Agreed. Unfortunately, we're going to have him present it when he's awake.
You sure? I can't just take it now?
No. You would be then guilty of theft.
Fine. All right. Try to slip it back into the scabbard. And
Yeah.
There's nothing that says we can't wake them now, though. And I'll grab 2 pans and just start banging them slowly.
Wait. Let's talk to the family first.
No. The family will be summoned to the.
I believe we're ready to round up everybody.
Okay. So you're like clang, clang, clang. You're like, what the fuck? Oh Jesus! What are you? Oh Jesus! It's
Sorry, I guess I'm going to side with Serg on this one.
So there's just all these people like waking up angry and then like scared to see half giants just in the middle of the room smashing things together. And then they kind of like eventually wake up. The Huskarl wakes up. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm raising your house. The trial begins now.
Fuck. Alright, on everybody, let's go. So they kind of will get up and trudge outside into the square. You can easily go outside and like do some shouting and stuff. Some of the guys who were drunk go around shouting and stuff and getting people into the square. So pretty much the entire village gathers.
We're going to have to get the thrall down, and like I think he should be allowed to stand rather than be tied for this.
He will remain tied. He is our primary suspect.
Well, you know what I mean, but not tied to a post or whatever.
Right.
Unless they guide us somewhere, I'm going to look for that crow to see if it's still around and see if we can have our trial near it.
Okay. The crow is still on the gibbet.
Okay.
Getting your man down is doable. The Huskarl is not happy about it, but he doesn't object too much. He knows that he has really no recourse here. So they let him down. He's got the cloak on.
I'll stay behind the suspect with my axe.
It's all dragging behind him because it's his cloak.
Yeah.
I'll stay behind the thrall anyway with my axe in my hand, just so that if he does try to run, it shows I'm ready to fucking make sure he doesn't do that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So they bind his hands and they walk him into the center of town. And the Huskarl steps forward and he says, "Look, people of Ostvigheim, we're about to have a trial about the murder of my son, Osvig the Younger. These men have been sent," and he says men with a little bit of a hesitation, looking at the half-giants, "been sent by our Jarl, Lord Gunn, to preside over this hearing. You will all do your best to answer them truthfully and give all evidence that you have." So he's like kind of trying to recite the opening to a trial, but he's not doing a great job. So yeah, he basically finishes off and he says, "Well, over to you."
Doesn't it seem like he's still a little drunk or just hungover?
Probably both. Like he's He's
He's
definitely
in
slurring his words and stuff.
beautiful moment where you transition.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like the worst.
So he's slurring his words and stuff, but he's definitely in pain as well. You can see he's pinching the bridge of his nose a lot, like rubbing the side of his head and all that sort of stuff.
Before beginning, has the House Carl offered any chance of trial?
By combat?
By fire, since he's a thrall.
No, he's offered nothing.
Very well. Osvig the Younger was murdered. That much we can see immediately. The man accused stands before you, the thrall. It is our understanding that he has been a thrall of your house for 10 years. Is that correct, House Carl?
That's correct.
Has he approached you for a chance to show himself as a free man again?
Many times.
What was your primary reason in denying him this?
He's a shit. He will never serve as a warrior in my house. He surrendered instead of dying.
Even so, 10 years is a long way to wait.
It's very long, but he deserves it. And he'll be here for another 10, another 20, another 100.
Well, I believe this trial shall see to how long exactly he shall be with your house. We investigated the room and were able to discover a brooch that belongs to your son. Unfortunately, it served very little to help us during this endeavor, but we wanted it to go with your son. And I'll go ahead and slide it across the table. And I'm going to go ahead and watch him for any sort of reaction.
So when you mention it, initially his eyes kind of widen a little bit, and then he kind of recovers. And he picks it up. His hand is shaking quite badly. And he puts it back down on the table. Yes, it should be sent with him on the longboat.
House Carl Osvig, I understand your concern. It seems that someone has done your family a disservice. The pennant was stomped on, maliciously. I'm just going to continue to slowly push on him a little bit.
Dishonoring my family. Who would do such a thing? And he turns to the audience, to the crowd. Who would do such a thing?
Is it not true that when you discovered your son's body, the thrall was sleeping in his quarters?
He was.
Rather strange behavior, do you not think, for someone who's just murdered a man to go back to his room and go to sleep?
He has been broken a long time ago. He would not dare leave.
But
Yeah.
yet he would dare to attack your son and murder him in cold blood?
He's like an animal. He doesn't think.
Animals do not speak of honor. This man has spoken of it. So, it is my belief that he is not like the wolf, going after the weakest. And if he was going after the weakest, I doubt your eldest son, a proven warrior, would be his first target.
Mhm.
It is
I know
our
that-
understanding that your son was slated to stay behind for you during the next raid. Is that correct?
Yes. He was
It's
to
also
stay
under-
here and protect the town while we went raiding.
It's also our understanding that this caused some friction in your household. That he forgot his fidelity publicly to you. Is that correct?
He was not pleased about the situation. He made his dissent publicly known. And he insulted me in front of all of the warriors.
Oh, that would really piss me off if I were you.
Yeah, it made me really fucking angry.
I bet it did.
How dare he cause you to lose face?
Exactly.
Bastard.
You can see his fists are clenched really tightly. You can see the white of his knuckles.
Well, investigation upon your son's body revealed that he was attacked by a man bearing a sea axe, using it improperly at that, which leads us to believe that it may have been something of a crime of passion.
Or
I'm not
by-
sure where a slave would have gained access to a sea axe and noble warrior's weapon. I would like all those present who have a sea axe, please bring them forward and display them. Lord Gunn, if you'd be first.
Sorry,
Excuse
you
me,
talk
Lord
first.
Austin.
Okay.
Yeah, so he turns around and looks at the warriors and says, "Alright, do what he says." He reaches behind him and unsticks the blade. And then he hands it over.
Okay. I trust his is the only one that looks like it's got blood and stuff on it.
A couple of them have... No, yeah, it's the only one that has like a proper residue left.
Okay. Lord Osvig, you say that this is your CX?
Yeah.
Yours is the only one with residue. And I'll turn it over so that he can see the blood that's on the blade still.
I was cutting meat with it last night during the feast. His eyes kind of dart to the side for a second and then dart back.
I'll go ahead and do an insight on that one. 10.
Yeah, he just kind of looks in the direction of some of his warriors and then looks back.
Okay.
And what of the blood on your face?
This thrall, this animal struck me when we took him from his bed. And the thrall says, "No, I didn't. That's not true."
I'll look to his guards. I brought you here because the eyes of Odin are upon you, and I'll raise a hand towards the crow. Or, excuse me, raven. But, speak truthfully, or else you'll be lying in front of the gods. Did the thrall strike him?
They all kind of look at their shoes. And the Huskarl is standing there, like, fists clenched, and he's kind of looking in their direction.
He asked you a question.
So one of them, a younger guy, no beard yet, but very, very large, says, "No, he didn't. The Huskarl watched as we dragged the thrall from his bed."
I would think not with 5 fine warriors amongst him. It would be a failure on your part to allow your Huskarl to be struck.
He was not struck.
And of you men, can any of you account for where your Huskarl was the night of his son's death?
And immediately one of the older guys says, "He was with us, drinking
All night.
all night in the long hall."
Look at the younger one. Say, is
Does
that
the
true?
Huskarl take residence inside the long hall? Most do.
Yeah, he does.
Okay. That's not necessarily a lie particularly, but that's fine.
Especially if they passed out and he moved on.
Very well.
Ian, you said you looked at the young guy. He definitely looks uncomfortable with the situation.
Is it true? What's your name?
Bjorn.
It's Bjorn. Do you know? Can you account for the Huskarl's whereabouts for the entire night that his son was murdered?
So Bjorn runs a hand through his hair and he looks up at the raven and he kind of gulps. He says, "No, I cannot. He left for some time."
Hmm.
So a bunch of the other warriors look in his direction, give him a sort of a withering look.
Allow me to fill in the blanks then. Afterward, you heard yelling. And the housecarl came to you and said that a murder had been conducted and he caught the thrall. You, carrying out your duty to your housecarl, arrested the man that was accused, correct?
Yes.
The man who was sleeping in his quarters nearby.
Yes.
A man who has been denied his right as a free man, or to become a free man for 10 years.
That is correct.
It is in this court's interest that we will make him a free man to carry out justice. Housecarl, should you believe that you are just, the gods will watch over you. We are issuing a trial by combat.
So there's a couple of gasps. A couple of the warriors like bang their chests and shout and cheer.
I'll step over to. First, I'll cut loose the guy.
Before the combat begins, you are both to seek medical attention. Prepare yourselves. You'll have 3 days' time.
The Huskarl kind of nods. So it shall be. The gods will prove that I'm right. So the crowd disperses, I guess.
I will go to the blacksmith and make sure that he makes preparations with swords and shields.
Yep, no problem. He gets to work on that. The combatants, particularly the thrall, gets looked at, gets taken care of, gets a couple of good meals in. And then 3 days later, they'll meet. Sword and shield. No armor.
Do they get seconds in Viking duels and all that? Do you have somebody who kind of stands in your corner, or no?
I don't think so. No, I don't believe so.
Unless they have a physical deformity, no. And usually the ones that do still do it themselves.
Yeah.
Any chance I could just have a little word with the thrall before the fight starts?
Yeah, sure.
Just give him a little
pep talk.
Pep talk, and maybe a little bardic inspiration.
Yeah, absolutely. So they kind of get into the circle. There are saplings laid around in a circle to make sure that they stay within that area. And you can see the Huskarl is relatively confident. He's not drunk. And he's kind of making a few kind of practice swings. The thrall is very quiet, very grim face on him, and under the auspices of Odin, they begin.
Just to say, just before they begin, I put my hand on his shoulder, and I say, "The Huskarl stood before the eyes of the gods, with his son's blood on his face and sword, or whatever, dagger, whatever you call it, and accused you unjustly of the murder of his son. The gods will see you through this trial." And that's my inspirational speech, and I'll walk away.
I'm going to put more pressure on. I will bless the trial by Forseti, the god of justice.
Sweet, perfect. All right, so they begin. It's They kind of circle for a little bit. They rush forward. They smash shields, and they kind of wrestle with shields for a little bit. And eventually, the Huskarl pushes back the thrall, who lands in the mud. And the Huskarl's on him, swings down, smashes against the shield a little bit, and manages to cut into the thrall's shield arm. He doesn't let out a noise or anything, but the cut is quite deep. And he raises the sword up for a thrust, and there's a caw of a raven, and the Huskarl smashes up with the shield, knocking the Huskarl back. Bounces up. They both get up and ready again. And then with this really quick exchange of blows, like shield, smash, bang, bang, bang. And then suddenly there's just like a slash, and there's a spray of arterial blood, and the Huskarl falls dead in the mud. Blood runs all over the mud, and the raven caws again and flies away.
The gods have spoken. This man is innocent and free.
The family of the Huskarl are very upset. Sven is particularly upset. He's this kind of wormy, ratty, small guy, and he is outraged by the whole thing. But he knows better than to say anything about it, so he just storms off to his quarters. The people go about their business, kind of picking up the Huskarl's body and stuff like that. The thrall comes over to you, drops the shield and the sword, and he just, with a curt nod, says, "Thank you. Thank you for believing in evidence."
Should you seek a new home, we are looking to gain some land ourselves. We could use honorable men.
Yes, Serg's going for a retainer.
Absolutely, of course. I owe you my life. You are clearly just and true men. I'll follow you.
Very well. Go to Lord Gunn. He'll equip you and keep you busy until then.
I will.
Perhaps we should let him travel back with us. Oh no, are we going back to Lord Gunn before we go on to this castle? We are, right?
Yeah, you're going to get resupplied and
okay.
stuff like that.
I misunderstood. I thought we were going directly to the castle from here.
Yeah, you're going to get
then you'll
supplies
return with us to Lord Gunn.
Yeah.
Perfect.
This might be better for his safety, just in
Perhaps we
case
should know his
Sven and
name.
family decide to... Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll look to... You said his name was Brand, correct?
No. Fuck, I didn't write
The
it down.
younger... I thought it was either Brand or Bran. I might have misheard.
Oh, the Sven. Sorry, the son.
Not the son. The younger guard.
Oh, Bjorn.
Oh, younger guard, sorry, Bjorn.
Bjorn. I will look to him as well. It takes courage to face the gods and speak the truth. Your house, Carl, has fallen. If you seek a honorable service, you may join us as well.
I think I will do that. I don't think I'll be very popular in this town anymore. I think
The
that
truth is sometimes not always the most popular choice, unfortunately.
I cannot lie in the eye of the gods.
We live by the 9 noble virtues, or else we are no more than Southerners. And Serg will spit.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to tell me about these other 8 sometime, Serg.
Of course.
All right, so
Maybe
he's
at dinner.
definitely happy to follow you guys as well. I mean, if he stays here, he's done for. So you guys can head back to Lord Gunn.
How does succession work in Viking?
They'll actually
society?
they'll actually choose somebody instead. It won't go to Ben. They'll choose somebody.
It's democratic kind of thing, isn't it? Pretty much.
Yeah, because his
Kind of.
house got disgraced and he got put down with trial by combat. It's technically the person who has the right to rule is the person that took him down in combat, but he's already swearing loyalty to Gunn and going with us. So now
Yeah.
they choose.
They'll just pick somebody, whoever they think is most capable.
Yeah, I can't see the thrall becoming the Huskar all of a sudden
No.
and lasting very long before somebody puts a knife in his back.
For the reason I made the offer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So just for the sake of expediency, you guys get back to Lord Gunn. and he is smiling broadly when you return with the thrall and explain to him what happened. And he says, "I knew you were capable. I knew you would do the right thing. You sought evidence, which is important. You would be surprised how many people simply go with their gut. Facts are important. You've proven that you have a calm head, and this is important. Now, I've set up lots of stuff for you. I have a cart, I have many horses, and many supplies that you can bring with you. I've also got 10 good men that you can bring with you, if you wish."
Yes.
Very well.
Sounds
Very
agreeable.
If we find this castle, we're going to need people to help run it.
Very good. Well then, he brings you guys outside, out to the front, and the people are assembled, some of the people from the town, and he is kind of standing like next to you guys and pointing towards you, and he says, "If you liberate the fortress, you'll be making history. You will be the first men to take a Jotun castle. You'll be heroes, legends. Go now with the blessing of your Jarl. I, Lord Gunnarsson, bless your voyage." And with this like really dramatic flourish, he slices the neck of a bull that's like positioned outside. Whoosh! Just spray of blood all over the floor, and the bull like he's screaming and trying to get out, but he's holding it by the horns and keeps it where it is. It dies, and he puts his hand into the blood, and he rubs this bloody hand on each of your faces. And the crowd is like, "Wah!" And then quietly near you, he says, "Do not fucking fail me. If you come back here without that castle under your control, you'll be dead, man." And he turns back to the crowd smiling and raises his hands. And that's where we'll end it.
Okay. Can we get the thrall's name as well? Because we've been calling him Thrall this whole time.
Yes, his name is Ragnar.
Ragnar. Okay.
Ragnar and Bjorn.
Alrighty, so there you go. So very light on combat. I only threw that wolf in just for something to fight.
It was actually kind of cool because it meant we could walk into town and people knew right away not to mess with us, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You guys did really well. That was really fun. Alright, I'm going to end the broadcast anyway. So thanks to my players. We've got Dan playing Aragast, Chris from Drop Dice playing Sirg, Ian from Fantastic Dimensions playing Oswalder.
Thank you.
And Ian Whitey White playing Tostig. So thanks for watching. I'm your LDM.